Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Polls are closing on the West Coast. We are inching closer and closer to finding out who will be the next president of the United States. Good evening, everyone.
Well, let's take a look at the latest results as we have them for the presidential race in this country. Over the past several hours, we've had a lot of shifting going on, and from a vote standpoint, this is what we're seeing. Donald Trump has received 50% of the vote, Hillary Clinton 46%, and Libertarian Gary Johnson at 3%. Now let's take a look at the electoral votes. Obviously, this is what will decide who our next president is. And the latest, according to what we have for finalized states now, Donald Trump leading with 129 electoral votes. Hillary Clinton with 104. Of course, you need 270 to win. We are waiting for some results to come in on projections for those West Coast states, and that might say quite a bit as to where we're at with regard to this presidential race. So let's take a look now at how Minnesotans voted in the presidential election so far. With 116, and this is early, with 4,120 precincts to go, Donald Trump narrowly, it's a dead heat in Minnesota right now, with Hillary Clinton at 46% and Donald Trump at 45%.
On the North Dakota side, here's how people are voting. Donald Trump coming out on top, 70%. Hillary Clinton, 22%. Also, a couple of congressional seats for North Dakota were up for grabs tonight in the Senate and the House. Do we have those numbers? Senator John Hoeven defending his seat with 85% of the vote. Elliot Glassheim with 12%. And Kevin Cramer's seat in the House also up for election. He maintains his seat. 76% of voters voted for Cramer. Chase Iron Eyes, 18%. On the state level, the governor's race is projected again to be won pretty easily by Doug Burgum.
All right, let's take a look at those numbers. Doug Burgum winning easily over Marvin Nelson, the Democrat of Rolla, North Dakota, 81% for Burgum. Nelson, a very distant second place at 16%. Bradford Eric is at the Radisson. That is where the Cass County Democratic Party is gathering tonight. Let's go to Bradford for the very latest there. Have we heard from Marvin Nelson yet, Bradford?
I'm here at the Democratic Watch Party at the Radisson Hotel in downtown Fargo. Cheers erupt each time a state comes across a projector that goes blue, as you can imagine. So I think it was a short time ago, Virginia was announced that it went for Hillary, and the room just erupted into cheers. But outside of that, it's not looking like a very productive night for the Democrats here in Cass County and Greater North Dakota. George Sinner is down in votes and may have already conceded his North Dakota legislative seat in the Senate, and he may not even show up this evening. Marvin Nelson has been beat out by Doug Burgum, as we said. He gave a disappointed speech a short time ago, saying that we don't know the whole story when it comes to what goes on in the legislature and with the developments with the Dakota Access Pipeline. Add to that, Tim Mathern has conceded his race for the state treasurer, but he seemed to be in good spirits, and he will return to the North Dakota Senate. Outside of that, it seems a lot of folks are already filtering out of the room here at the Radisson. As things continue to develop, we'll bring them to you. Mike, Andrea.
All right, Bradford, thank you so much. It was not a very good night for Democrats across the state of North Dakota.
Ashley Bishop has been at the Republican Watch Party at the Sanctuary Event Center in Fargo all night, where Governor candidate Doug Burgum gave his acceptance speech a while ago. Ashley, big celebration still going on there?
Yes, Andrea, and it's quite a different story here at the Republican Party this evening. I have to tell you, this party is different than most political parties that I've covered in the past. Very fun. Obviously, cheers still happening, and it's a youthful crowd here this evening. People cheering that Trump apparently is winning another state. People watching the TVs right now. Cheers erupted around 8:30 for the announcement that Doug Burgum won and is the newly elected governor of North Dakota. He gave a speech thanking many people for the support, telling those who didn't vote for him that he will work for them and lead North Dakota into the 21st century. He said he promised to balance out North Dakota's budget without raising taxes for people. We have a little bit of what he had to say in his speech. Here it is right now.
By making the tough choices today, we can reset our budget and ensure that we fund our most important priorities. And we can do this by embracing new solutions and making sure that we drive better value for you, the taxpayer, and start treating taxpayers like the customers we are. At all times, it's important to remember that when the government is spending money, it's not their money that's being spent, it's your money that's being spent. And we owe it to you to ensure that your money is spent as efficiently and effectively as possible in a way that does the most good for the most people.
Well, it is a little loud in here, guys, but just to let you know, I spoke with the former Governor Ed Schaefer just a few minutes ago. He's still right behind me, actually. And he talked to me saying that he thinks Doug will be a great fit and lead North Dakota in a great direction. And it could relate to Doug because it's very much just like how he was and how he got into politics, not working his way up in the House and the Senate, but differently. He was a businessman, and he thinks Doug will be a great fit, and he's excited to see what will be happening over the next few months and next year with Doug in charge as our new governor. Now, the party is still going. We're waiting for the Republican districts, candidates. Republicans are here still waiting to see who's winning those. So we'll have more for you throughout the night. And in Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you so much, Ashley.
All right, let's take a look at some of the measures. There were 5 on the North Dakota ballot. Keep in mind these numbers still coming into the newsroom, but let's take a look now with measure number 1. And measure number 1 is the measure that dealt with making it a restriction, make it a requirement for lawmakers to live in their district. That is overwhelmingly passing at 136,940. No is at 22,496. Measure number 2, this is the measure that is talking about setting aside money, oil extraction tax money for education. That is passing as well, 102,067 votes yes to 56,713 no.
All right, the next measure, measure 3. Yes votes coming in 62%, to the no's 37%.
That's Marcy's Law.
Giving more rights to crime victims of crime in the state. And the next measure, measure 4.
Which is certainly been a hot topic for the state of North Dakota. What it is a Veterans Tobacco Tax Trust Fund set up in the state. That is going down to defeat 65,568 yes, but 109,826 saying no.
Now on to measure 5. Right now, we've got the yes votes at 64%, no votes at 35%. That's with 289 precincts reporting. This is also called the North Dakota Compassionate Care Act. That's measure 5 is 34 pages in length. If approved, it would, and it looks like it will be, legalize the use of medical marijuana, which means that patients who suffer from cancer or PTSD or epilepsy, much more, would be eligible to receive 3 ounces of cannabis.
All right, let's switch over to the Minnesota side with regard to what's happening. We're going to take you now over to Nicole Johnson, who joins us live in Moorhead. She is at the Democratic Watch Party. Nicole, what do you have for us?
You know, there's quite a bit of cheering out here with some of the things going on with Hillary Clinton. There's a lot of longtime incumbents here that races are going to be tight. Joining me now is Representative Paul Marquardt. What are your thoughts on how the presidential race is impacting locally here, what's going on?
Well, it's a tight race, and I think people thought it would be. And I also think that, you know, people are looking for a change in some respects, especially on the national level, and that's kind of what you're seeing in some of the stronger Trump numbers that are better than I think a lot of people expected.
So did you think it was going to be a tight race for you tonight?
Oh, yes. This was a unique campaign in the fact there's about $150,000 or more of negative ads poured in from the Twin Cities, which is unprecedented, never been seen before. And, I didn't engage in that. I stayed positive and talked about the people's issues, which I think is important. So that always makes things closer. But I think a lot of that transcended from the national level down to the local, kind of that negativity where you're not going to talk the issues and so forth. But the focus on the issues and the focus on the people out there that really are impacted by these elections.
So if you win tonight, what are we going to see happen first?
First of all, we need to look and deal with the health care crisis that we have with especially that 5% or so of the individual market. We need to get a handle on that. But also we have to make sure we get a tax bill passed a transportation bill and a bonding bill, and in that tax bill, there's a lot of good relief for farmers that we really need to deal with. But it's basically, how do you help your senior citizens and your veterans and your law enforcement officers, your families, your teachers, those who help people in the nursing homes? It's about the people, and that's what's really important.
Okay, so would you call tonight's race a nail-biter?
You know, they're all very exciting, and I think a lot of them are always nail-biters at some point, but yes, I would say so.
Awesome. Well, we'll be here throughout the night and bring you some more results. Thank you for your time, and back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicole.
All right. We've got live coverage continuing. Our team coverage continues on the Minnesota side. Let's go to Cornelius Hawker. He has been live tonight at the Speakeasy in Moorhead. That's where the Clay County Republicans are gathering. Cornelius, what's going on there?
Mike, I can tell you they are looking at the TV and they're hoping Trump wins. I saw Florida was just called from him by Fox News, so there was a lot of cheering there. So yeah, they're just looking at the national races now and just hoping Trump wins. I had the chance at the local level to look at some things, and unofficially from the Minnesota Secretary of State side, it looks like Clay County has approved, and this is unofficial, only a few precincts are reporting, but it looks like Clay County has approved the 0.5% sales tax for the Clay County Jail and Law Enforcement Center. Now, you'll have to remember, if this does end up failing once official results are in, it's going to go through anyways, and you'll have to pay for it through your property tax. Anyway, I had a chance to speak with Jordan Itzo. He's running for the House Representative 4A as the Republican candidate against Ben Lean, and unofficially, he is behind according to early numbers, but he tells me what he plans on doing if he loses.
Oh yeah, no, I'll still be active, because a big thing for me is because I want to be a difference maker. And if this doesn't happen, I'll find a different way. It's not like I've got my heart and soul set on this. I mean, I do in a sense, but it's not like, oh, I lose that, well, it's not meant to be, time to move on to the next thing. No, this is definitely what I want to do. I want to be a difference maker, and I want to move Moorhead forward and make it a community unit for the better.
So we're going to have more election results. They're pouring in now, and we're looking at them, updating them online. So for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, Cornelius. One other item I wanted to get on, the extension of the sales tax to pay for flood diversion, flood support in our area in Fargo. Right now, the latest numbers have it at 63% yes, 37% no. And we know there are a lot of items on the ballot, including this one, that you're going to want to stay up to date. We have a ticker running at the bottom of your screen, or you can go to our website at valleynewslive.com.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Well, not quiet on the election front, but the weather very quiet. As we head into the evening hours, we sit at 42 degrees with the wind from the south, and it's fairly light at about 9 miles per hour. Here's a look across the region. It's still mild in Devil's Lake at 48 degrees, 40 Jamestown, 41 in Langdon, but cool air in the Cheyenne River Basin here with a 34-degree reading this hour in Valley City. Gwinner at 39. It's 38 in Bemidji with Roseau at 37 degrees. So we are cooling off fairly rapidly, and a bank of clouds working into western and central portions of Minnesota right now. The clouds actually help to slow the rate of cooling. Notice there was that clear notch over the Valley City area, allowing you to cool a little more rapidly. As we go through the overnight hours, most of us will see these clouds zip on out of here, and we will start our Wednesday off with temperatures in those mid-30s to around 40 degrees. As we go through the mid-morning hours, temperatures are going to rise thanks to south winds. They'll be a little more stout than the winds we saw today, gusting over 25 miles per hour at times. So a little on the breezy side, but that's going to drive temperatures in the afternoon up. On your way home from school or work on your Wednesday, expect those low to mid 60s along and south of Interstate 94. Fargo's record in the mid 60s for tomorrow. So there is a chance at more record highs being set as we continue through this spectacular November. The evening looks very quiet. The wind starts to decrease. The skies, for the most part, stay clear. Fargo's planner, 30s in the morning, climbing through the 40s. As we go through the afternoon, we'll have upper 50s and low 60s, peaking in those mid 60s in some spots, like Devil's Lake 64, Jamestown 66. Sisseton will kiss 70 degrees tomorrow, a lot of low 60s in Lakes Country. And as we look off to the east, it looks like a beauty in Bemidji at 61 gorgeous degrees. Here's a look at a gorgeous shot over Cotton Lake. Cotton candy colors. Beck uploading this beautiful sky shot. Take a look at the beautiful weather trend that continues. We do cool off a pinch on Thursday, but that's still not back to reality, folks. Your Veterans Day forecast does bring temperatures closer to seasonable. We're talking upper 40s there. The weekend, though, we're right back at it. Beautiful November weather near 60 degrees by Sunday. On Monday, there's that big super moon out there. That'll be large. So the next 7 days, very quiet weather and overall dry pattern. Do we see a chance for any winter-like weather? Yes, as we approach the 15th to 17th, we could have measurable snow, and we may need a shovel. So don't lose where you have left that shovel since last winter.
We haven't even
Keep
found
that in
it.
mind.
Yeah, we don't know where it's at.
I know. You guys are busy with the election. You got time. Okay.
Real quickly also, did I just hear in my ear the sales tax extension is ahead, did pass?
I heard it in my ear.
I think, well, I just want to make sure somebody was talking
I
at the
didn't hear
time,
anything in my
you
ear.
know.
I'm leaving it up to you guys.
All right, so we will have much more election coverage when we come back.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.